am so happy to introduce. So please welcome to the stage, Avery Olmsted!
Hi, I'm Avery Olmsted. This is a show called 937. It's based off of the true story taking place in the beginning of World War II of the SS St. Louis, which took 937 Jewish passengers to Havana, Cuba. Along the way, they reach certain trials that they have to overcome. But just without further ado, I know you guys are going to enjoy this. 937!
When I return to the SS St. Louis, it is 8 years later. The English punched holes in her. Here is where the fires licked it after they dropped the bombs. After it left my care, it was used for the war effort. And soon, it will be nothing but scrap. This was my ship for 19 years. I must find my room. Is there anything that remains from that last voyage? Here is where I stood when I made the decision to sink her, to ram her into the British coast, and to set her on fire. Maybe I should have done it. Then everyone might have lived. Every day, I see their faces. Welcome aboard!
This is wonderful. So great. Wow.
Watch your step, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
My pleasure.
Please watch where you're going. Watch where you're standing.
Excuse me. No, thank you.
Stop being very hot. They only wish to help. Room 217. Don't hesitate. No.
But
No. To your father.
Pleasure cruise to freedom. The SS St. Louis, one of the most elegant streamliners of the Hamburg Line, has been enlisted to help Jewish refugees leave the Third Reich. This is no ordinary ship. Staffed by the finest men and women on the line, a swimming pool, shuffleboard, even movies and dances have been scheduled for this once-in-a-lifetime journey. And where is the end of the line? Havana, Cuba, the jewel of the Caribbean. Sun, beaches, and warm tropical nights. Truly, these 937 Jews are the luckiest of all. And now the St. Louis is ready to heave to. Godspeed. The flag is being unfurled.
Attention!
I want these people treated like any other passengers. There's to be no harassment. Do you understand?
of course, Captain.
I want these people put at ease. None of your singing.
Is there a problem with my singing?
None of your singing.
Even in the crew barrack? We have no freedom there either?
We shall sing quiet.
I said none. I need you to prepare the evening dinner.
Of course.
Captain, may I have a word?
Quickly.
I noticed that you refused to stand at attention when the flag was unfurled.
Is there something that you want?
As party leader aboard this ship, I think that it would set a good example for my crew if you showed more respect to the fatherland. They might start to get the wrong idea about you.
I am the leader aboard this ship.
I understand that, but I represent...
I know very well who you represent. And if you feel the need to speak to me of this again, I'll have you tossed in the ocean. Do you understand? I can make the rest of this trip with you tied up in the brig if you prefer.
Sorry I mentioned it.
Captain.
Sorry I mentioned it, Captain.
Go get tonight's movie ready.
Yes, Captain.
Did you put that photo on the doorknob? I think so. It looks. Yeah, mine too.
Where are your parents?
I didn't do it. It was her. I saw her.
Parents? Where are they?
Our mother is still in Hamburg. We didn't have enough money for flight tickets.
Your father is he aboard the ship?
He's waiting for us in Havana.
I need you girls to be on your best behavior. Is that understood?
It was her fault. She's the one with the idea. You lie. You always lie. Don't listen to her.
You're not in trouble. Just try not to injure any of my crew, all right?
Yes, sir. You're supposed to say Captain Lenya. You say yes, Captain. We don't know everything, Marlene.
Good night, girls.
May 14th. The second night of our trip was the loveliest yet. The waters have grown calm. It was warm and sunny today. A perfect spring day. The movie was... I don't recall what the movie was tonight. Because the movie did not matter. Not a fan of film? You're not watching the movie.
You're very observant.
Where are you from?
I'm trying to be alone.
I can see. That's very difficult on the ship.
Yes, it's very difficult.
What's your name?
Elise? Do you mind moving somewhere else on this boat?
It's a ship.
Either way.
Of course. I'll move somewhere else.
I meant away from me.
Oh, well, then you should have asked that because I happen to think that close to you is the best place on the ship. Oh.
I see.
Jacob? Jacob?
Oh, my mother calls.
Has anyone seen my son?
I'm summoned. What was that?
That's my ring.
Wonderful.
Jacob?
May 14th, 1939. Our second day out from Cambridge. His name is Jacob. I don't like him entirely. Although after he spoke to me,
Die nationale Revolution geht deren Verlauf hier heute.
the movie will begin after the newsreel. Sit down.
Der neben der
Sit down.
Zeit lebte unerwartet.
Do not presume to speak to me, Jew. Or do you forget who you are?
I said turn it off!
What is the meaning of this? Let him go! Go! Let him go, I
I
said!
was only trying to inform
Put the film
them.
on. The film on. My deepest apologies. She will not work the camera again.
So, who was that boy you were talking to, Elise?
I wasn't talking to anyone.
At the movies, I saw you talking to a boy.
He was talking to me.
I wasn't talking to him.
I thought he was here.
Sophie, you don't need to watch such things.
She wrote about it in her diary.
She thinks she likes him.
You read my diary?
It's a small room. There's not much to read.
Elise, I don't need to remind you that this is not the time.
I didn't do anything. He came talking to me.
You were standing at the railing gazing at the ocean. You think a boy's not going to come talk to you? You might as well put a neon sign over your head that says, I'm moody and I'm looking for love.
I'm not really Stop looking in there.
Your mind needs to be on music.
What music?
Practicing your music.
With what? You sold my violin.
You think the only way you can play music is with an instrument?
Yes. That's how music works.
There's a violinist in the band. You can ask him to borrow his.
I don't want you talking to any musicians.
He's very handsome.
Don't start.
I'm 14. I'm almost a woman.
When we get to America, you need to have a way of making a living.
I've
You're
heard
so
this.
talented, my dear. You can play anything, but you need to practice.
I've heard this. How am I going to make a living if you sold our only violin?
How else did you think we could afford this trip?
I don't need you telling me what to do. I'm perfectly capable of making up my own mind.
You are not.
And stay out of my diary.
What else is in that diary that I should know about?
Are you alright? You alright?
Fine.
That's, you know, there's food in the dining area. You can eat there. It's a nice night, isn't it? The sea air, it's very relaxing. It will only be cold another night or two, but for now, it's nice to have a good jacket. Are you in prison long?
2 months.
Where at? You're alive now. You're free. You're free.
Cuban Parliament signs Decree 937.
We will fight corruption at every opportunity. Too long, the powers of Europe have used our nation as a dumping ground for their least desirable citizens. At this very moment, a shipload of criminals, murderers, and Jews are heading towards our country. They have not a penny to their name. What are we to do with them? Let these penniless scoundrels infiltrate our country? No, they'll become beggars on the street. All of them! I say no more! No more!
What is it you wanted to see me about?
Do you know about this?
About what? This is insignificant.
I hope so.
If they won't take them, then you can just dump them off the side of the ship.
We're not in Germany, and I don't want to hear that kind of talk.
I'm not the only one who's saying it.
Keep your ideas to yourself. I'm glad you're here. There may be some difficulty when we reach Havana. I want you to be prepared. Here's what I plan to do.
beautiful.
It's because my work as a spy, I'm sure.
Oh,
It
yes.
was just a little piece.
The music was lovely, too.
Are you always like this?
I'm sorry, but a Caribbean cruise, only a romantic one.
I'm sure there are a few elderly widows that would love your attention.
I have no doubt of that.
What do you think Cuba will be like?
Hot.
Beyond that.
Jews in the tropics. Who would have thought? Next, they'll find an island to stick us on.
Is your family planning on going to America afterwards?
That's my father's plan.
And what's yours?
That depends on where you're going.
New Jersey. We have relatives there.
That sounds nice.
You haven't heard anything about New Jersey.
And yet I hear New Jersey's nice.
Do you mind? I need to
What?
practice. I've only got the violin for an hour.
What was that piece before?
Well,
It was wonderful.
he's a German. Just think. If he were alive today, he'd be one of them. A Nazi. All of that beauty in his mind, like a second skin over the hatred underneath. You'd almost think they had souls that could feel, consciences that could be roused, hearts that could beat like anyone else's. I played for Gold Bells once. My father thought it would be good strategy. I was 14. Things were already disintegrating. I thought, see, we'll go play for them. We'll play their music. Look at us. We're capable of beauty. We're human. When I play, sometimes I try to picture myself in a field, all alone. The sun on my skin, the breeze through the grass, the trees overhead. I just kept trying to keep that image alive. When I was in that room with them, they ate dinner while I played, sucking on cigars and gobbling up meat, their eyes like knives. They own that. They would uproot us, as if we're the contagion. We're the blight on their happiness, as if it is somehow our fault that we even dare to exist and breathe and think and dream. My father was arrested 2 months later, and I haven't heard from him since. So I keep playing their music. Now, I imagine that I'll go back to that room with that man and kill him with my bare hands. Just wait until he's old and weak and on his deathbed. I will never be done hating them. That's what they made me. Thank you for standing up to them the other day.
What else is there to do? They want us to beg and crawl like bugs. I don't want to live like that.
SS St. Louis arrives in Havana. The day could not be finer. Here they come to see the pleasure liner to freedom. Into the harbor go boats
Attention!
crowded with
Attention!
passengers waiting for
Health
any word of their
inspection!
loved ones.
Health inspection!
Boarding the ship is
You there!
crew of
Health
crew
inspection!
make the final preparation.
Do you see him? Do you see him? I don't see him. I don't see him. Shush! I can't see anything when you talk all the time. There he is. Father! Father! That's not him. You're stupid. That's him. Wait, you're right. That isn't Father!
A great many of
Do
them
they
plan
have
to
the funds to
emigrate.
do this?
When my company purchased the visas, we were told they would suffice.
The situation has changed.
What situation?
Cuba has signed a law.
Yes, I heard of the law, but I
These
thought
people would be wards of the state. They have no money.
they have no money because they spent it on the visas.
Forged visas.
We purchased them from your
No need
office.
to get upset. I'm simply stating facts.
What do you want me to do?
Our government requires assurance that they will not be thrown into poverty.
And how is that my responsibility?
A sum in the amount of $500 per
What?
passenger would ensure that they have enough resources to land on their feet.
There are nearly 1,000 Jews aboard the ship.
I noticed.
And you're asking for a bribe of $500,000.
I'm an official of the Cuban government. I don't take bribes.
I can't pay that kind of money.
And I suggest you find another island for your Jews.
Day 27. An almost perfect day. Havana looks enchanted at night. We arrived just this morning before dawn. I woke to them ringing the breakfast bells. Everyone was out on the deck, pointing and cheering. I can't wait to be rid of this ship. It was a lovely ride, but I think my stomach would love to feel solid ground again. There are so many papers to be filled out. You would think the entire country of Cuba had been drafting forms on our voyage here. We're sure to be on dry land tomorrow. Goodbye, St. Louis. Although, I do have something to report. And Sophie, if you are reading this, now is the time to stop. Got you.
Shh! They'll hear us.
They don't care. Come on. It's so wonderful here. The night. It's like being in a bath. What's so funny?
Nothing. Nothing, I agree.
You're making fun of me.
No, I'm not. I agree, the night. It's very exceptionally lovely.
Let me picture my Romeo in a million stars and cut him out and hang him in the heavens.
Am I your Romeo?
I hope not. We'll both end up dead. Are you feeling poetic?
Always when I'm with you. There are words enough.
Are you always like this?
I'm possessed of a rare and delicate nature.
I doubt that very much. I have to tell you something. I used to be so afraid of the future. I was convinced that ruin was just around the corner. When my father was arrested, there were just the three of us. And it seemed like only a matter of time before we had gotten swept up in the nets. I saw the people who had been released. And they looked 1,000 years old. And I thought, we're going to die here. Or I'll see what they saw. And then we got on the ship, and I didn't let myself believe things were going to be any better. I wanted to keep those stupid hopes as far down in the pit of me as possible. I didn't want to let that light in. Because once you start hoping for things, the pain comes back. But I can't help it. You make me think of the future.
And you make me think of the present.
And the future, right?
Of course. The present nearly blots out the future.
And where do you imagine yourself?
In a cottage.
I don't want to live in a cottage.
We won't. We'll live in a little home.
That's the same as a cottage.
No, just bigger than that. You see,
Look what we have here.
we were just headed back.
Why leave?
Good night.
Oh no, I said why leave. Weren't you enjoying the view?
It's very late.
I know it is, which was why I was wondering why you children couldn't seem to find your rooms.
Thank you for reminding us of that.
You know what? I'll walk you there.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I'll
Jacob,
walk you there. I can
I
walk
don't
you
need
there.
to
That's enough,
walk.
ma'am.
Hey! Get your filthy hands off of me, you Jew! Who do you think you are? Do you know what I did to your people back in Germany?
We're not in Germany anymore.
As long as we are on this boat, it is Germany.
Let them go.
Oh, another one.
Let them go. I'll walk them back.
You know, I think that it's time that you shaved your hair again. Looks like you've been out for a little too long. Heil Hitler.
I'm afraid there can be no solution to the problem. Your ship cannot remain in Cuban waters indefinitely. We are not your dumping ground.
May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please? We have been informed by the Cuban government that you will not be permitted to disembark in Havana immediately.
Shut your mouths!
I'm doing everything in my power to rectify the situation, but this may take some time. In the meantime, I need everyone to remain patient. I will notify you as soon as I receive any better information, but for now, no one is allowed to leave the ship. Thank you.
Nowhere to go. SS St. Louis in Havana Harbor unable to make port. Refugees growing anxious. When will they depart? Who will take the refugees?
Thank you for agreeing to see me.
I don't have much time, Captain.
Of course.
If you have some new argument to make it.
My company purchased visas for these people on the understanding
You
that
purchased fraudulent visas. Are you suggesting that Cuba is responsible for your poor judgment?
I'm not.
We are a nation of laws,
Of course.
and there is a strict immigration law that has been passed by the will of the people.
Yes, I
We
understand.
do not want your Jews. Go back to Germany.
Do you understand what will happen then if we go back?
Why is that my problem? It's your
They're
nation.
human beings.
I find it ironic that a German is lecturing me on treating Jews like human beings.
You are sending these people to die.
They cannot land here. You have 24 hours to remove your ship before my military will escort you out.
A cable from Washington.
Captain Schroeder, there is no interest in the United States in receiving the passengers. We regard this as a dispute between Germany and Cuba, and do not wish to intervene. We have noticed that your ship is dangerously close to American waters. The Coast Guard will ensure that you remain at sea. I repeat, your ship will not dock at any American port.
Has there been any word from Canada?
They have not replied to her. They have not replied to our cable yet. The Dominican Republic has asked for guarantees as well.
Perhaps if there's any wealthy Jews in New York, maybe
Captain, if I could speak to you.
Quickly.
We're running low on fuel. We're not going to make it much longer.
I'm not in the mood to listen to your nonsense when you and your party are responsible for this.
You have entirely too much love for these Jews.
I wouldn't be in this position if it wasn't for the fact.
I'll shall mention it in my report.
Go ahead.
It is time to return to Hamburg.
Don't tell me what it's time for. Do you understand? Have you tossed in the... You're Gestapo?
It's time to return to Hamburg.
Why does Berlin care about this voyage?
I think it ought to be very clear to you by now. I do not answer to you. We have what we want. No one wants the Jews. We can't be blamed for removing them ourselves when the entire world despises them.
Did you know all along we wouldn't be allowed to land?
Our propaganda was instrumental in getting the Cubans to pass the law.
Is that what this is for? A publicity stunt to justify genocide.
Set course for Hamburg. You have been a most useful accomplice in this, but any further resistance will be noted. Unless you want to join your friends here on the ship to Auschwitz, I suggest that you set course for Hamburg. Heil Hitler.
Captain?
Set course east-northeast. We're going home.
Your name's Jacob?
Yes.
I don't have much time to talk with you. I overheard the captain.
What is it?
Cuba won't take us. We're not landing here.
That's ridiculous. That's...
Accept it. He's going to take us back to Hamburg. I'm not going back.
What do you plan to do?
We take control of the ship.
Where did you get that?
I stole it from one of the guards. Listen to me. We've got this all planned. We take the bridge at gunpoint. We force the captain to head for Florida. The Americans will take us. They have to. Can I count on you when the time comes? I was at Tikal. I know what they plan on doing with us. Are you with me?
Back to Germany. The SS St. Louis has departed Havana and is on a return voyage to the German Reich. Chaos on the deck.
Father!
No! What am I gonna do?
Near Florida now. An American plane flew overhead today. Some people thought they were here to save us. No. Every hour we get closer to Germany. Mother has taken in the girls.
You want a doll? I have a doll. I'll leave it here, alright?
It's going to be okay. You stay with us. We will be together now.
I'm scared.
It's going to be all right. You're such a brave girl already. You crossed the ocean by yourself, didn't you? And nothing bad happened to you on the way over. And nothing bad is going to happen to you on the way back. I'll see to it. You're going to be safe.
If we go to the camp, will Father be allowed to visit us?
I understand that. But if there's any...
Sit down!
What is the meaning of this?
Sit down!
I can assure you that
Sit down! Lock the door!
I'm doing everything in my power to...
Shut your mouth!
I understand
I
the
did not
frustration.
tell you to speak! You have done nothing but lie to us from the moment we got on board this ship! Be quiet! You knew we would not be allowed to leave! You have made promises and promises and promises! And now you're sending us back home to die! I'm not going back! I've been there! You understand me? They pulled me from my home. They took my husband, they shaved my head, they took my children. They killed my boys. They killed my boys. I had one photo of them, one photo that I held against my heart. They took my photo and they ripped it up in front of me. Before breakfast, the hangings begin. They line us up to watch. I see our necks yanked by the ropes. Arms and legs dangling like marionettes. Any way to kill they could find. Old men drowned in vats. A woman crucified. In the afternoon, we have to dig the pits we're to be buried in. And then we toss the bodies of our friends and families into the graves. The children like broken playthings for them. So much like my own boys. My boys, dead like that somewhere else. Eyes open, mouths open, a fistful of light to keep down the smell. And they say we're the animals? We're the animals? Tell your pilot, turn the ship to Florida.
There's not a...
Turn the ship to Florida.
You think the Americans are gonna save you? Is that why their ships have been following us? Listen to me. They're waiting for us to try something and they'll put a torpedo
They
in
wouldn't
our
let
hull
us
if
die. They would do something.
They're letting you die. I've been talking to them non-stop for 4 days. I can show you the cables if you want. Here and here and here.
You're a liar.
This is not over. I promise you, this is not over.
Lies.
This ship is not going to Hamburg. Mary, I promise you. You have to trust me. I promise you. Mary, please. Put the gun down. I'm trying to help you. Put it down. Please.
You don't know what they're gonna do to us.
Put it down. Please, I promise you, put it down.
You don't know.
Wait, Mary, no! She's dead. not sure what we're going to do when we get there.
June 10th. The captain tells us of the countries he's talking to. Places all over the Atlantic. Canada, Panama, the Dominican Republic. No one says yes. No one. It's petty and small and stupid, I know. But the fact that no one wants us, no one?
The crew are on constant patrol to keep people from jumping into the ocean. A woman shaved her head last night to prepare.
Gentlemen, this is our course of action. I understand this may be hard to hear, but I don't believe we have a choice. We are 36 hours off the British coast. We will make for Beachy Head at Sussex. There, we will run the ship aground. After 1 hour, if help has not come, we will set fire to the ship. The British must come for us.
Hey, Leonard.
Having witnessed your ordeal, the British government is prepared to accept up to 350 of your refugees.
Queen Wilhelmina of the Netherlands has agreed to accept. The Belgian government has accepted a load.
Deliverance! 4 nations agree to split the St. Louis refugees. Word from Paris, London, Antwerp, and Brussels. At the last moment, the nations of Europe have joined together to rescue the doomed refugees.
The last names A through F. To the starboard. The rest, with me.
We're headed to England. Where?
Belgium, Brussels. I don't know what we'll do when we get there.
It's not Germany.
I know.
I said I'd come with you.
No. Go with your family.
I made a promise to come with you.
Jacob, those are silly promises. You just met me.
No. At least I love you.
You can't say that to a person.
I know it. I love you. It's true.
Don't leave your mother. She needs you too.
My mother has never needed anything of me, or anybody in her
No.
life.
Go to London. I'm sure it will be wonderful.
I'll find you.
How will we keep in touch?
All right. I promise. I'll find you.
And I'll find you. I love you. Already. I love you already.
Look at what they're doing.
So we go inside.
This is more interesting. It's time to go.
Goodbye.
Bye.
June 27th. We are situated in a hospital. It's cold and dark, and not at all like Cuba, but it's safe. We are safe. My father told me we had been gone exactly 40 days and 40 nights. And I think of Elise. I think of her dancing. 1940. Germany takes Belgium. 41. No letters come in. 42. No word. And then I learned that the girls had gone with someone else.
How did he die? Because of me.
You saved so many people. So many. Not enough.
Not nearly enough.